Hello folks, welcome to CodeCrucks. This is Mahesh Guyani, and in this video I'll be talking about Mamdani fuzzy inference approach. Points which I'm going to cover in this video would be the introduction to Mamdani inference approach, the max-min inference method, max-product inference method, fuzzy reasoning process, and we'll discuss one example of Mamdani approach. Inference means to reach to certain conclusion or the decision based on some proofs or the logic. In 1975, Professor Abraham Mamdani from the London University has designed the very first fuzzy controller system for the steam engine and boiler combination. He applied certain set of fuzzy rules which were supplied by the expert human operators. As we know that the accuracy of this system highly depends onto the rule base, and rule base should be developed systematically, and it should be designed by the person who is having the domain knowledge, and hence the human operator's input is quite important in design of fuzzy logic controller. Let us discuss what max-min fuzzy inference method is or how it works. Consider that we have a rule like if x1 is a11 and x2 is a21, then output y1 is b1. Assume that we are given some random membership functions for each of them, and we have a rule 2 stating that if x1 is a12 and x2 is a22, then y2 is b2. And let us assume that the fuzzy membership functions for them are as shown here. We need to calculate the output corresponding to the inputs. X1 is equal to 2.5 and x2 is equal to 3. So we have to find out what would be the membership value of yi in each of the fuzzy output functions, and then we need to take the aggregation of output functions b1 and b2, and we will apply some defuzzification methods on them. If we consider the rule 1, the two propositions in antecedents are connected using AND. And if we check the membership value of x1 in rule A11 is 0.8 and membership value of x2 is equal to 3 in set A21 is 0.4. As propositions are connected with AND operator, we should take the minimum membership value of both the input set for the output y in the output fuzzy set. And the propositions in second rule in the antecedent part are connected using the OR operator. So the membership value of y2 in the final fuzzy set p2 should be derived by taking the maximum membership value of input parameters, which is 0.7. The shaded region shown in b1 and b2 will form the final aggregated output function, and on this function we need to apply some defuzzification methods, maybe a maxima method or maybe centroid method or any other method to compute the final crisp output corresponding to x1 and x2 in both the input fuzzy sets. In max product inference method, the membership value of yi in set bi is determined by taking the multiplication of membership values of input parameters, that is membership value of x1 in a11 into membership value of x2 in a21 will be the membership value of y1 in b1. Then we have to reshape or rescale the original fuzzy shape up to that particular point. In case of max-min inference method, we were clipping the fuzzy output functions, but in case of max product inference method, we have to simply rescale the function up to that particular membership value. So that we need to apply for all the functions, and we have to take the integration or the union of all these fuzzy output functions. Whatever area is covered by this will be used to compute the final crisp value for given rules. Let us consider a specific example of robot navigation. This is the robot which is moving on particular path, and all these objects are randomly moving in different direction. So we have to decide what should be the direction of robot for the further movement depending upon to the surrounding objects. So if object is very close and moving towards the direction of robot, then obviously robot needs to change its direction. And if objects are moving away from the robot, then robot should continue his own path. Consider that the distance of robot from the object is capital D, and the angle of object with respect to robot is theta. So depending upon the combination of distance and this angle, we should determine the deviation of robot from its path. We'll call it as a delta. So the angle and this deviation would be in degree, and distance will represent in meter. For the example, consider that capital D varies from 0.1 to 2.2 meter, and theta will consider as minus 90 degree to plus 90 degree. The first step is we will form the database from this. The distance varies from 0.1 to 2.2 meter. We will create 4 fuzzy sets out of this: very near, near, far, and very far. And the membership functions are shown here. As we can see that for distance 0.1, the membership value in very near set is 1, and in rest of the other fuzzy sets are 0. As distance increases, obviously object will not be very far to the robot. So the membership value of that distance x in very near set will decrease, and it will increase in the near set. For x is equal to 0.8 meter, the membership value in very near set will become 0, and that will be maximum in near set. If we move in either direction from 0.8 meter, it will not be considered near. Either it is going to be very near or it is going to be far. So the membership value in near set will decrease, and it will increase either in very near or in far, depending upon in which direction the distance is decreasing or increasing. Same observations we can make for all other combinations. And angle range is from minus 90 to 90 degree, that we are dividing into 5 fuzzy sets. That is left, ahead, ahead right, and right. So depending upon 4 combinations of distance and 5 combinations of angle, we'll have total 20 fuzzy rules. Cells of this table are filled up with the help of experts of this domain. We can interpret this rule as: if distance is very near and angle is left, then robot should continue moving in ahead direction. Similarly, we can interpret all these rules in the same way, and the last rule we can interpret like: distance is very far and angle is right, then also robot should continue moving in ahead direction. Out of these 20 rules, only few rules will fire at a time, so we need to calculate which rules will fire and what will be the strength of each of the fired rules. Consider that we are given distance d is equal to 1.04 and theta is equal to 30 degrees. So these are our 2 parameters. Based on this d and theta, we need to calculate delta, that is the deviation of robot from its path. The d is equal to 1.04 belongs to set nr and set fr, and theta is equal to 30 degree belongs to fuzzy set a and ar. We need to find out membership value of these crisp parameters in respective fuzzy sets. So let us try to find out it for d is equal to 1.04 meter in near set. Part of the near set is highlighted and it is enlarged here. As you can see that the base varies from 0.8 to 1.5. The height of this fuzzy set is 1, and the distance 1.04 is having certain membership value y for this in this particular NR set. Using similar triangle rule, we can find out the membership value or the parameter y here. Height of the smaller triangle divided by the height of larger triangle, that is y by 1, is equal to width of smaller triangle upon width of larger triangle. So that will be y by 1.0, that is the height, and 1.5 minus 1.04, that is the width of smaller triangle, and 1.5 minus 0.8, that is the width of larger triangle. When we solve it, we will get the height y is equal to 0.6541. As it represents membership value of 1.04 in NR set, we will label it as a mu NR, that represents membership of D is equal to 1.04 in NR set. In identical way, we can compute the membership value of D is equal to 1.04 in FR set, and that is going to be 0.3429. Similarly, we can compute the membership value of angle in set A and AR, which is 0.3333 and 0.6667 respectively. As the D belongs to set NR and FR and angle belongs to set A and AR, only 4 combinations are possible and only those 4 rules will be fired that are shown or highlighted into this table. And those rules are: if distance is nr and angle is a, then deviation is rt. Second rule is if distance is nr and angle is ar, then deviation is a. In similar way, we can write down all 4 rules. Now we need to find out what will be the strength of all these 4 rules. Depending upon that, we will find out the area covered by each rule and will compute the crisp output value. These are the data we already have computed from the previous slide. So first rule was if distance in nr and angle in a, then we have to find out the corresponding delta, which was rt. We know that membership value of nr is 0.6571 and membership value of a is 0.3333. As we are considering AND operator between both the propositions, we should consider minimum value for the output. So here minimum value is 0.3333. Hence the output y will have membership value 0.3333 in RT set from rule 1. Second rule says if distance d is equal to nr and angle is equal to ar, then output is equal to a. So again we will consider the membership value of y in fuzzy output. So that will be derived from the minimum value of nr and ar, which is 0.6571. This corresponds to fuzzy's output set a from the rule 2. So the membership value of y in fuzzy output set a will be 0.6571, which is highlighted in the diagram. In identical way, we can compute the membership value of y for third rule, which belongs to set AR, the strength of rule 4, which is 0.3429, and that corresponds to set A from rule number 4. This is the area covered by individual rule, or we can say this is the strength of individual rule. To compute the final crisp output, we need to take the aggregation of all these 4 shaded regions. It looks like this. Some of the regions are overlapping. To compute the crisp value using centroid methods, we have to compute the area of that entire aggregated fuzzy output. We know the equation to compute the area and the center of certain standard shapes. For triangle, the area is given by 1/2 AB and center for such shape is 2/3 A. For rectangle, the area is given by AB and center is computed by A1 plus A2 by B. And for trapezoid, the area is 1/2 A plus B into H and center would be B1 plus B2 by 2. So by applying such a simple concept, we can directly compute the area without computing the line equations. So let us first talk the center of sums method. As we have already discussed, center of sums method finds the area of individual fuzzy output functions, and hence the area of overlapping regions will be considered twice or more. So region 1, that is the blue shaded region, which covers span from 45 degree to 90 degree, is having area 12.5 and centroid is 71. For the area A2, which was produced by rule 2, which is covered by or which is shaded in orange color, is having range from minus 45 to 45. It is having area 39.7089 and centroid is 0 as it varies, is ranges from minus 45 to 45. In similar way, we can compute the area for rest of the two sets. The center of sums method compute the centroid using this equation. If we put appropriate parameters into this and we compute it, then x star would be 19.5809. In center of gravity method, the area of entire polygon is computed only once. Even the area of overlapping region will be considered only once. So instead of computing the area of individual polygon, this method will divide the entire region into small different shapes, maybe representing triangle, rectangle, or the trapezoidal, and then it will apply the standard formulas on it and then compute the area. The another way is that we can compute the equation of line as we have discussed in defuzzification methods part 2. We compute the equation of individual lines which makes this entire polygon and then integrate over all these lines. That will also give us the identical area. But the easier way is that we are dividing this aggregated output into different small pieces or small regions, and we'll compute the area for all individual regions, and then we'll add up them. So as we can see that this triangle varies from minus 45 degree to minus 15.4305 degree. It is having a height 0.6571. So by applying the area equation, that is 1 half P into H, we can compute area as 9.17157, and its centroid is minus 25.2860. So from this slide we have shown earlier, we can easily compute area of all such standard shapes, and we can easily compute the center also. So the area and center for rest of the shapes are shown here. And if we put all these values in the equation of center of gravity method, we will get the crisp value corresponding to this fuzzy output set as 19.4450, which is quite close to center of sums method. In middle of maxima method, we have to consider middle value of the span in the entire fuzzy aggregate output function, which is having the highest membership value. As we can observe that this span is having the highest membership value, that is 0.6571, and the center of this is 0. So middle of maxima method will return 0 as the output. As we can see that the difference between centroid methods and the middle of maxima method is quite big. So maximum methods are simple, but they are not realistic. They are not giving the appropriate output many times. So centroid methods are always preferred over the maxima methods. That's it for today, folks. See you in next video. If you think this video was useful to you, then please like, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe the channel CodeCrucks. Press the bell icon for the notification of latest videos. Stay connected, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.